Welcome to the tutorial for advanced compression using HoloEdit. At the end of this tutorial series, you will be prepared to process challenging, unstabilized data from a capture and export it with optimal compression for sharing, editing, and playback. To follow along with this tutorial, you will need some familiarity with HoloEdit, including navigation and UI terminology, and have basic understanding of working with 3D data in HoloEdit or external software. If you aren't familiar with the basics of HoloEdit, refer to the introductory tutorials on composition and compression. Throughout this tutorial, we will be covering a number of stages in HoloEdit. If you'd like to follow along, you can use the A compression data and the workspaces provided as reference, as well as compositions matching the different save states we will create to allow you to reference the data without having to process it alongside the tutorial. Starting with an unstabilized capture, we will go over the following steps in HoloEdit. Importing unstabilized data into HoloEdit, mesh cleaning and decimation, introduction to stabilization, running the stabilization stage, reviewing and refining your stabilization, using the template match stage for additional tweaks, generating textures for the stabilized mesh, applying SSDR for additional compression, and exporting the final product as an OMS. For more in-depth information on the material in this tutorial, please refer to the accompanying written documentation. The first step is to import our data into HoloEdit and create a track. For this tutorial, we will be using the provided A compression demo data split into two folders: A compression demo textures for the texture stream, and A compression demo clipped for the mesh stream. HoloEdit supports loading clips that contain both mesh and texture data, or loading individual clips for each stream. Throughout the tutorial, we will be examining the clip without textures, and keeping the clip separate will allow us flexibility. We'll start by creating a new workspace in HoloEdit, and we'll copy the clip data into that folder. Press the Make Clip button in the project window. We'll start with our mesh stream. Because we are working on unstabilized data, we can leave Detect Stabilized Sequences toggled off. This clip was created with a different winding order than HoloEdit expects, so we'll enable the reverse winding order option. We'll also enable the Generate Normals option so we can preview the mesh with lighting and press Import. Next, we'll click Make Clip for our texture stream and accept the default settings. With our clips imported, we'll drag the mesh stream into the composition window to create a track. We are working with a mesh stream whose first frame is labeled at 266. We'd like to work from frame 0 for this project, so we can click and drag the interval back to the beginning of the timeline. Next, we'll add a load asset stage to our track, expand the parameters, and select the compression clip and drag into the asset ID field. We'll have to create an interval that encompasses the clip data. We can scale the interval to fit the data and drag it back to frame 0 as well. Now that we have our clip in HoloEdit, let's play it and take a look. This clip of a cosplay performer is a uniquely challenging clip to stabilize and compress. There's a complicated costume with multiple props, including a gun flute tucked into her belt and a mask that covers and reveals her face. For a typical clip of a performer in street clothing acting or dancing, the stabilization process will be fairly straightforward. But due to the complexity of surfaces and movements in this clip, we'll have to go through a lot of iterations and refinement to produce a result with excellent quality. Now that we've prepared to move on, let's save our starting composition as AC for Advanced Compression 1, load asset, and get started.